Hello, 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 everyone. Happy Friday. How is everyone doing? Non-farm payrolls. Non-farm payrolls because there is none today. All right. I'm under the weather, guys, running a fever. Seem to have picked something up. So I'm not going to go through don't call it a lot of individual stock picks or anything today. It's also a Friday. Markets are insanely overbought again. We have minor topping patterns, you know, so then I got the newsletter to write up. So, oh boy, it's going to be a long day. Good morning, Royal Palms. I hope everyone's feeling wonderful today, though. Good morning, John. Good morning, Sterling. Good morning, Patrick, and happy Friday to everyone. Happy Friday and good morning to Patrick and Rusty over on Rumble. Thank you for tuning in over there. Good morning, Kevin. Uh, Sterling, when will you take the channel for a week, giving Mike the needed break? I'm in full support. Sterling, you should do it from your job at the dealership. That would be priceless. I'd love to see Sterling streaming from his office at the dealership, and maybe we can all get car deals too. See that's did anybody catch the 5 minute double bottom off Mike's call for 6746 area support? Hit all through. Well, good job, Sterling. Another thing to note that oh boy, another thing to note with that one had set up with RSI divergences. Sorry, I'm having trouble reading this morning. Yeah, let's have Sterling take over for a while. I'm sure he would do a fantastic job. Well, we have a few people in here who could probably do a good job. So, oh boy. All right. Good morning, Rick. How are you today? So, go Tigers. You mean the Detroit Tigers? Hey, the Cubbies. I'll always be a Cub fan. Cubbies. Now, I think they'll get destroyed by Milwaukee, but they beat San Diego. The Cubbies. Remember growing up at Wrigley Field? Before it got over commercialized, and then you can't afford it anymore. Good morning, Anissa. Good morning, OD Green. So, we got Williams speaking. Oh, we already had Williams speaking. Sorry, we have the SB Composites and Services this morning, and with ISM Services, I'm going to be watching the ISM Services prices, rig counts this afternoon. Logan and Jefferson. All right, so yes, words are hard, especially on Friday. Friday challenging word day. That's what we need then, Sterling. Stream a reality TV show. You work with a lot of characters. I like characters in the quote, but that would be fantastic. Streaming with Sterling. Let's have streaming with Sterling. There we go. That'll be the name. Streaming with Sterling. All right. Good morning, Ted. Oh boy, I barely got any sleep last night. It's going to be a long day. So again, no non-farm payrolls. So I mean, I guess they'll come out once the government reopens. How long do you think this is going to take? Anybody have any idea? I think we're going to go through all next week without it. So that's where we sit. S&P 500 map. We have Apple and Google slight pullback. Everything else, Tesla bouncing back after it got routed yesterday after the delivery beat. But I guess you know what though. I was looking for over 500, but I guess Elon's now the richest man in the world again. So maybe we're going to get a break with the options buying. Although let's see, because I don't know how yesterday affected it. Major outside reversal day. But again, now I'm watching for the secondary bounce in Tesla. Secondary bounce in Tesla. That's where we sit. Groups. Let's just refresh it since we did have some minor changes. Energy, consumers. Wow. Consumer defensive and comm services are the only thing negative. Everything still running up into Friday, pre-market. Could change after the open. Could change after the ISM numbers, too. Still, 2 rate cuts fully priced in. Fear and greed at the upper end of neutral. And PE 40.08. Buy it all. It's a dirt cheap market. Sarcasm. Don't buy it all. It's not a dirt cheap market. Streaming with Sterling. Streaming with Sterling. That's all I got to say. All right. Thanks again for being here, everyone. And thanks always to Sterling for putting in wonderful information. Let's see. Democrats are already wavering because their media advocates have not been able to help them spin us out of it. So we will see. We shall see. All right. We do have. Okay, we're trading at a minor level support right now, the 67.70. There's actually a support area between about 67.65 and 67.70. Going to be watching that heading into the open. Next key support, this is why I can't get overly short just yet. 67.54, 55 is the next support level. Now, we start breaking below that, especially if we don't react to the bottom of the 4-hour rotation zone. We might have a front run to the double. The more conservatives, though, wait for a close. At least a 1-hour close below 67.41. All right. So that's the only minor short setup. Why do I call it a minor short setup? It takes us into the daily rotation zone. But look at this. After what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confirmed days up. We have to see where today still sits. Massive potential divergence. Cycles at the top again on the daily. That's why, you know what? On any bounce, I'll still be looking now for short-term rollover patterns. Nothing major. We could still take it back to the rotation zone. We still have the other bigger double in play, but it could get invalidated before it ever triggers. So, again, this is an aggressive short because it is against the daily rotation zone. So I, again, have to be nimble with that one. Yes, there'll be ISM economic data because it's a private organization. What else? What else? What else? So, NASDAQ. We also, if my charts will refresh, have a minor potential double top. By the way, back in the S&P, if it trades above, sorry, I didn't list that out. If it trades above 67.9250, the potential doubles off the table. So if we get some massive rally after the open today, and it trades above 67.9250, it's off the table. The NASDAQ one would have to trade above 25.266.50 before it's off the table. Trading back to key minor level support, there's a support window between about 25.064 to 25.100. That's a support window. Again, there's no great front run. You'd have to get some momentum below 25,060 before a potential front run. You see the 4-hour rotation zone and the prior major resistance becoming some confirmed support yesterday is right in the way too. That's why any front run for NASDAQ is really challenging. To trigger the double, you need a close below 24,993.75, at least on a 1-hour basis. And then what's interesting, it is also into a clear path move. Funny thing is, the double and a little minor breakout level are at the same point too, and the 50% harmonic. That does not change the probabilities. It's just an interesting thing to note. Again, against the daily rotation zone. So you have to be nimble if trying to do this. Again, very overbought, cycles at the top with a divergence. I'm still now watching for we're getting to some levels of exhaustion too. Shorts are very aggressive at this point though. Very aggressive. All right. Good morning, Heinrich. You're welcome, Bull Strike Cheetah, and thanks for Sterling for chiming in there with the ISM numbers. Sterling, always helping out, streaming with Sterling. Okay, we are a potential double top. We don't have a minor double top. We have the bigger daily potential double top. which is out of the rotation zone on the daily basis. So we'll be looking for that. Not today. Not today, but next week if we do finally get some sell-offs. Today we have the support levels coming up. It's a much closer to about 46,785 to 46,8 is the key support level. There is no front run pattern. There's lots of support levels in the Dow. So, little bug there. Sorry about that. So, unless we get major momentum, the first two, the highest one I'm looking for is the S&P if there's short setups, and the NASDAQ. The Dow and Russell, they have a lot of key support unless we're looking at momentum. All right, the Dow finally checking off the 87.5. Russell, we had the minor double top that hit pretty much the first and second targets. Now this turned into a more significant lopsided double. I'll still be looking at this, again, not for today, but for next week potentially. We don't have a minor double going in, and it's coming into key support. So key support level is about 2468, and then we have about 2473. The Russell, unless I can't be overly, there's a minor support level also about 2473 to 2475 into the open is the key support levels. Again, the shorts, Russell is last on my list of shorts unless we have massive momentum. But if we have massive momentum, we'll probably be getting a breakdown in the S&P, which is my primary one if anything breaks down this morning. So what else do we have? VIX, still stuck. I mean, slightly elevated, but nothing major. Nothing major. Can't get into more significant sell-off mode unless we start spiking above 17. The DAX hitting key resistance. Overdone. Overbought. Cycles at the top. Watching at least for a pullback into the rising rotation zone. Key support level right now on the DAX is right around 24, just above 24,300. The yields on the 10-year, I'm going to be looking for a potential buy setup going into next week. We've pulled back between the 50 and 62.5. We have a potential percent B buy bar possibly for Monday with cycles at the bottom. Trading against a pretty key support area. Again, an area. What else? Crude closing well below the support, breaking down. So now I'm very cautious on bounce plays because major resistance between 61.77 to about 62.20. We have to start regaining this support level before there's any more substantial longs. So could we still look for some bounce and rollover plays now? Yes. It's coming into a very key support area though, so it's also aggressive shorts. Crude is not the thing I'm looking at right now for great setups just yet. Gold, again, we came down yesterday on the minor double. First and second targets hit. This was the double that you don't want to short. And now rotating back up. So, again, if we break out above about 39.29, we're looking at roughly 39.60 area. No shorts in gold yet. No shorts in silver yet. Silver, after hitting the minor double pullback levels, rotating back up, hitting the rotation zone. Nothing more to talk about there. Will there be short setups? Yes, at some point, like I talked about yesterday. Are they there yet? No. Today, if silver breaks out to new high, 48.54 is the next minor target. Copper. Moving on up. Next target, about 514, 515 area. 514, 515 area, next target for copper. Dollar index, same thing here. We had the little minor bounce, first, second, nearly third target hit on that little minor double, but that had to be very aggressively traded. I'm going to be watching on this pullback around this 97.20 area to see how it reacts there. Patient now on dollar again. Is there any major one? We had the little minor percent B buy trigger, and the stop for that is below Wednesday's low. So that's why I'm still watching this 97.20 area. The spiders, gap up reversal off the harmonic yesterday. Slight gap up today above yesterday's close. So on a rollover play, 669.22. And coming back down, the major support area, 667 to 667.25. If we fill the gap and then continue to rally, the target I would use would be the open 670.45, and then we have 671.34 is next harmonic. Okay? If you're trading the spiders. The Qs, also gap up reversal, filling the gap yesterday. Gap up reversal just above the minor harmonic, which took the double off the table. Slight gap up today, 606.40. So gap fill would be to 605.73. You break below there. The major support is about 603. If we take out yesterday's open, 607.06, then 608.29 is the next harmonic. And then you have 609.85. Bitcoin, watching for a pullback, key support now after the strong move back up and validating the double, closing above the 62.5 from the whole retracement. Now I'm watching for pullbacks 117.50 to 118. 117.150 to 118 is key support. Tesla, outside key reversal today. Now I'm watching for a secondary bounce to see if we set up a short position. Sterling, anybody interested in short squeeze type stops, put USAR. USAR, yes, but that one's really, yes. This is going to be very interesting. So, USAR, where's it trading pre-market? 26.23. This one's going to get real interesting. This one's going to get real interesting. But it's a story stock right now. There aren't any great targets, at least from a harmonic standpoint. So we shall see where that leads to. Other than that, still looking at Broadcom technically didn't trigger the double because of the down close yesterday. It did trigger the percent beat buy the day before, which was my front run pattern. This is getting tired again. You know what? We can see the stops from my perspective are below this 234.50 on a closing basis. Other than that, nothing much to talk about there. NVIDIA, yesterday gapping up to the harmonic and push a little higher to close a little lower. So we will see. I don't have much else to talk about. Let's see. Also, Netflix has set up a nice potential percent beat buy in the daily after yesterday's price action. Yeah, it's you're spot on, Sterling. It needs to, get above. The stop now has to be below yesterday's low. And again, my first target area for this is right at this breakdown about 1189, 1190, right in front of the daily rotation zone, at least to unwind partials. You have a couple gaps left behind. So that's key also. This is not a long-term setup. This is a bounce play only, potentially. It's got to still close above yesterday's high to follow through. So in any entries, pre-market or at the open, it's still got to close. Otherwise, it would not be a carry for me. Take it home. It would not be a take it home trade if it did not close above yesterday's high. Thank you for pointing that out, Sterling. Again, streaming with Sterling. With that, I don't have much else to say going into a Friday. I'm just paying attention. If we do get a bigger sell-off at this potential double top, again, there's still the 4-hour rotation zone in the way and a major support level in the way. So this may never trigger, but that's the only bigger. And when I say bigger, minorly bigger short setup. Okay. Everyone have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And, enjoy some fall weather rolling in. Hope everyone, again, just have a wonderful day and a wonderful weekend. And I'll see you all Monday. Bye for now.